Hey guys, how you doing? This is Juan with Liberty Graphic Designs. Today I'm going to show you how to make a beanie. So don't go anywhere. Okay, so I created a template out of, I can't even remember what this thing is called. Something like, I can't even remember what it's called, this material. But I created a template to make beanies. Let me bring you in a little closer so you guys can see how we can create a beanie. Very easy. So this material, I think it's called HTPE. I can't even remember. But anyways, I created a template or a jig where all we have to do is just trace it. And let me show you real quick how to use it or how I'm gonna use it. The one thing we need is something to mark our fabric with, and get the one that actually works for you. Because see, this one's the ones you buy at Joann's or Walmart or whatever, but they're not very good. See, it doesn't even work. So what I do is I buy this at wherever I get my sewing machines, and this is made out of either wax or soap, and it marks very easily. See that? So all I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the template in place so I can trace it, and I just need a line for me to know where to cut. Right, I'm going to trace it all the way around, just like so. So on the template, I got this slits right here on the top. I'm not gonna mark those because I'm not gonna cut it. That's just to cut the top of the beanie to kind of pull it in tighter. And I'm not gonna cut it right now. I'm just gonna leave it like that. Make sure I marked it. It didn't mark really good. And this is what I'm saying. Make sure you get a marking like one of these soap deals. It's not soap, I don't even know what it's made out of, but make sure the one that you got, it marks really good. And also, if you notice on this jig, I got a group of X's or plus signs or whatever you want to call it, and that's for if you want to place a logo on your beanies. So this right here, let me grab a beanie so I can show you. Okay, so beanies when they're made, they have a seam, right? They have to have a seam, and that seam right there, it's this one right here. So say for example, this beanie is gonna have a seam in the back. That cross right there, a plus sign or whatever, registration mark, whatever you want to call it, that's gonna go directly in front or in the front of the beanie. So the seam will be in the back. Now, if you want to have the seam right here on the side and the logo right there, then you use either one of these right here, depending on what you want to do. So I'm going to use the one in the center, and I'm just going to mark it, put it across right in the center, because that's the one I'm going to use. And then once you see it, or once you see when I put it together, it'll make more sense. So I'm going to remove this, and now all I'm going to do is cut this. So we're gonna cut whatever we marked except that cross that we made right there. The mark right there, we're not gonna cut it because that's gonna be for our logo if you are putting a logo. This fabric right here, I think I got it at Joann's. I can't even remember if that's where I got it, but you can get whatever fabric that you like. to make this beanie. I'm cutting 2 of them because I'm gonna make one without the logo and I'm gonna make one with the logo. Okay, so that's it. Now we got, actually, like I said, I was cutting 2 pieces. We got one that is not gonna have a logo and the other one will have a logo. So again, I marked that right there. So I know that that's the one that I want with the logo. Another thing I forgot to show you on the jig, I have this notches right here. You probably cannot see them, but one of the notches, let me flip it upside down. One of the notches has a C. Let's see if you can see it. Has a C right there for center. This is the center line. This is where the deal will fold and create the beanie. The other one has another notch, but there's nothing on it. That's where the fold will be. That's where your logo is going to be. If you notice, between those 2 notches, that's where this registration marks are. That's where your logo is going to be. So whenever we put the beanie together, our logo will be in the right order or in the right registration. Okay, so now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to sew our beanie together. And this is where it's going to get a little confusing. If you don't have a serger, you can do it with a regular straight stitch. You don't have to have a serger, but it's a lot easier to sew it if you have a serger. This is where it's going to get a little confusing. So what you want to do is you want to take the right side, which is going to be the one that's going to be showing facing up, and then fold it onto itself, just like that. And what I mean by it's going to get a little confusing is whenever I go to sew it, it's just not going to make any sense. How is that going to be a beanie? That's why I made this one without the logo, so you guys can see. Then once we fold it onto, like say for example the outside, right, we're going to fold it in inside out, and then we're going to fold it again. And trust me, whenever you're making this at home, it's not going to make any sense because there's no opening right here for the beanie. So you're gonna be like, what the heck? How is that gonna work? So, but don't worry, it actually works really good. It's very simple. Just line up all your edges. The ones you have everything lined up, I'm gonna start sewing from the bottom. This is the reason why I'm using the serger, because the serger is gonna cut as I sew it. So, or as the machine is sewing, it's gonna cut the X's, making it easier for me to have the beanie lining up. This is where it's better if you have a serger rather than a straight stitch, because the straight stitch is just not going to do the trick right here. Okay, so then what I do is I'm gonna take this one out, one of them. I'm gonna remove it and I'm gonna close the inside. Just like that. So if you notice, the entire beanie is closed. Don't worry about this excess material. You can cut it, just don't cut it very close. Leave it, leave it hanging like that. If you notice right here, everything is sewn together, right? Yeah, see? Everything is sewn together except for this little itty bitty hole on one side. So that's where we're gonna flip the beanie inside out, the entire thing. And that now is gonna become an actual beanie. That's what I was saying. When you look at it, it doesn't make sense because you flipped it inside out and then right side in, or whatever you want to call it, and it didn't make sense. But if you notice now, it's an actual beanie except for the little piece. And see where I only sewed one side. Now what we got to do is we actually have to use a straight stitch to close this side. So let's go to the straight stitch so we can close that. Okay, so now the straight stitch, again, we're gonna close that opening right there that we left, and all we gotta do now is kind of tuck the what do you call it, the ends in. This fabric is kind of what is it? It doesn't want to work. Then we'll just close that. Just like that. And that's it. So we flip that inside out because we don't want to see that opening, right? And then everything's gonna be nice and straight. So there you go. So now if you want to just flip it over, I mean, you can have the logo be right here and then you just have all that hanging, or you can flip this over and your logo will be right there. So now for the one that has the logo, see, since we put the mark in there, and in this case I'm going to use this small helmet with the Patriots on. This is what Ronnie sent me from Primal Graphics. Thank you, Ronnie. And I'm just gonna put it there. This is DTF. We're just gonna apply it to the fabric. Once you put this together, you can also apply this after the fact. But let's say, for example, if this was embroidered, I can go ahead and embroider this, and then once I make the beanie, you won't see none of the stuff on the inside like you normally would. There you go. Remove the DTF carrier. So now let's sew this one together. So hopefully this time it makes a little more sense as to when I was talking about folding it. Again, if you notice, that's right in the center of the split. So again, hopefully it makes more sense when I was talking about folding it onto itself. So we just want to make sure that it lines up. And depending on what kind of fabric you guys are using, you're going to be fighting that fabric like I am with this one. This one is very stretchy. So just like that, right? And then, you know, now we're going to fold it again. Doesn't matter which way you fold this one. Doesn't really matter, because we're going to start sewing from here going all the way until we stop right there, right? Again, make sure that all 4 layers are aligned. You don't want to have a big old hole when you go to sew it. And remember, right here, we're only going to sew one side of it. So I'm going to leave this one out and just pull it out. Cut the excess. Make sure that everything is sewn correctly, just like that. And again, right here is where I was talking about. This is going to make more sense now because it has that logo, right? So now we're going to get it. We're going to flip it inside out, or right side out, or whatever you guys call it. And see, now this is what I was talking about. This is where it makes sense that your logo is going to end up right there. But notice how we got the split right there, right? So when I close it, when I close this one, now you're going to be able to see that seam right there. But watch, let me take you over to the straight stitch so we can sew this one, and then I'm going to show you what it does. So now that we're at the straight stitch, we're going to do the same thing we did on the other one, which is just sew this hole, right? Then we got to tuck in the excess so we don't see the seam. Just like that. But however, see how there's a seam right there and the logo is right in front of it. So here's the logo, and then we're gonna have that seam. So if you wear that, you're gonna be, I mean, it's gonna look like a unicorn. So when we flip it inside out, when we flip that inside out, watch what happens now. So now we don't have that seam, right? Because we did this with the serger, and then when we fold it over, oh, you know what I forgot? I forgot to tell you to flip the image inside out because we were gonna flip it. That's my mistake. We're supposed to flip the image to where it was upside down. So whenever you flip your beanie over, you will have that lip right there, like that, and then your logo will be standing upright. In this case, that was my mistake. I didn't pay attention to that, but that's how it's supposed to end up. And see, now you don't see the seam anywhere. And that's how easy it is to like really create these beanies right here. Again, my bad. I didn't pay attention to the orientation of the logo. But let me tell you, once you make that mistake, you will make that mistake again. So this little slits right here that I got right here on top, it's to, once you wear your beanie, you know, sometimes when you wear it, it will be too much slack on top. So what you do is the slit will go right here, and it will cut that slack to where it'll form to your head easily. Thank you guys. This is it for this video. It was a pleasure like always. If you guys want to see anything done here, let me know in the comments below. But guys, if you want to get this jig right here, let me know and I can put it on my Etsy store so you guys can make your own beanies. This stuff does not break. You can fold it, you can do all kinds of stuff with it. As a matter of fact, if you guys decide to buy it, it's gonna come rolled like this in a tube. So yeah, this stuff it's almost indestructible. Not indestructible, but you know, it's pretty flexible. So yeah, let me know if you guys wanna get something like this, and we'll definitely put it on my Etsy store so you guys can make your own beanies. So yeah, that's it guys. Thank you for watching. It was a pleasure like always. Make sure you let me know in the comments below what you think about this idea. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Ding the bell so you get notified when I upload new videos. Thank you guys. God bless you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye now. God bless you. Adios.